just to gather myself and say good evening to everybody. Mr. and Mrs. de Villiers, Mr. and Mrs. Cotton, the staff, and all of you parents, and most importantly, the girls' DSG class of 2021. It's such an honor to be here and talk to me. I actually feel like this is my glug hug to each of you. And I've spent a lot of time formulating this message I've wanted to give you tonight, and I think you put it the best. It is like a bit of a glug hug. Okay. First of all, I am so honored and excited to be sharing this evening with you. It's very nostalgic because I thought it was 32 years ago, but actually you said it was 33 years ago. I was sitting in this Noni Mullins hall with my parents celebrating the end of my school years at DSG with the class of 1989. So let me just tell you about that story because this hall carries a lot of memories for me. One of my favorite memories, which is what got us demoted, was when we were waitressing as the grade 11s were waitressing tonight. And I promise you it was a tradition, and I'm so sorry, girls, that the class of 1989 ended this tradition. But we were always told by all the matrics before us that you very cleverly take the wine from the wine bottle and you pour it into the Moni's bottle, and then you go back to your house and you have a big party. And in true Merriman style, we had the night of our lives. We had the best time ever, and it just so happened that most of the matrics in that year came from Merriman. So when we decided to go and earn up to Mr. Wynne the next day when it had all come out, we said to him, so you really shouldn't overreact because this has been a wonderful tradition in the school. And he kind of lifted his eyebrows at me, and then he called the whole class in and said, anyone who wasn't involved in the matric dinners, will you just leave? And clearly only his matric body and the Merrimanites were involved, and we were all sitting in front of him. This poor man had one prefect left in the whole school for the whole of the fourth term. So he said to my best friend Alexa, who's still my best friend today, she was head girl and I was deputy head girl, and he said it was very clever. He said to us, the honourable thing to do is to resign your positions, which we did. And when I went to resign, I said, but so you do know that you won't find any better girls than the ones you've got in place to do the job. And he said, yes, thank you very much, Lindy. Can you leave now? We were close-gauged for 6 weeks, and then we were all reinstated and had a great year. So that's the memory that Noni Mullins Hall has for me. The great grade 11 year, don't get any ideas. It's not a tradition, and that's a fact. And then sitting here with my parents in 1989, ending my DSG career. I feel a particular connection to all of you, not only because my blood is green with a tinge of Merriman yellow, or because I now live in Grahamstown and I'm married to St. Andrew's boy, but mostly because I've had a son who's matriculating alongside all of you this year. And so we've shared this experience of navigating your final 2 years against the backdrop of a global pandemic. It's for this reason that I was particularly excited when DSG asked if I'd be the guest speaker tonight, as it presented me with this wonderful opportunity to take time to reflect on the past 18 months and to contextualize and to put into perspective how these bizarre circumstances have impacted and shaped this pivotal time of your lives. The drama of lockdowns, no hugging and kissing, which is impossible for a DSG girl. I mean, you can't have a bigger punishment than no hugging and kissing. Online schooling, mandatory mask wearing, COVID contacts, monastery isolations would previously have only found expression in blockbuster movies. But these dramatic themes have been your reality. So on the upside, you have the most riveting stories to tell your children and grandchildren one day. But as we pause to celebrate the end of your schooling chapter, we must acknowledge that your final 2 years of school have looked and felt entirely different from all of your predecessors in DSG's 147-year history. The old girls most likely to empathize with your experience might be the young woman whose education was impacted by historical events like world wars, Great Depressions, and apartheid. But in truth, the physical challenges and emotional discomfort of the last 18 months, coinciding with the most important 2 years of your school careers, are yours alone, making you a truly unique group of DSG alumni. Through my life experiences, I've developed the perspective that our hardest challenges often become our greatest blessings, and I believe this to be true for you too. While we should not diminish the losses you have felt, it would be a tragedy to neglect acknowledging What have been the gains and the blessings that have been bestowed uniquely on this matric year? You have navigated your way through deep anxiety, uncertainty, and bitter disappointments, and discovered just how resilient and courageous you are. You have experienced that there is strength in vulnerability, and it's okay to ask for help. You have learned how important it is to be kind and to support one another. You have learned to live in the present moment, to be adaptable and to be accepting. You have gracefully let go of the things that were not meant for you this year and discovered that, in fact, you have everything you need right here inside of you to survive and thrive despite the adversity all around you. You have experienced that life is a glorious mixed bag of experiences and emotions, a series of unexpected surprises, and that the art of living is in how you choose to respond, and our ability to be present and to grow through the discomfort and to fully embrace and celebrate the joys and successes. The last few months are a wonderful example of how you have flowed through these yin and yang moments and mastered this art of living at such a young age. 3 months ago, you were enduring another bout of online schooling. 3 weeks ago, many of you were enduring 10 days of isolation. A week ago, you all looked so beautiful and radiantly joyful at your matric dance. I stalked all of you on Facebook. You did, you looked beautiful. And the last few days of Silly Week have been a glorious release. And here we are now, gathered together tonight to celebrate you all, parents, staff, and the DSG girls of 2021. It is these valuable inner tools and the innate wisdom gleaned from a once-in-a-100-year global event that happened to coincide with your matric year that has shaped and prepared you perhaps better than any matric year before you to step out into the world, make your mark, and embrace the fullness of your life's adventures. You can feel so proud of yourselves. You are so ready for this next chapter. For those of you who have been denied the opportunity of expressing your talents to the fullest, on the stage, sports field, swimming pool, or on the academic and cultural spectrum, I want to reassure you that school is only one of the many stepping stones to your greatness and accomplishment. If you have the talent, discipline, passion, and will, the lack of opportunity over the last 18 months will not hold you back. But once again, within the loss, you have been given another golden nugget in that you have experienced while playing internal leagues, performing plays or dancing via live streaming or videos, that the most enduring motivation and the joy in expressing a talent comes from an amateur heart, performing, playing, competing for the love of it. I must also share with you that while writing the speech, I took a trip down memory lane and tried to remember what really stood out for me in my matric year or DSG experience at large. I didn't remember anything you said. And I confess, I do not remember much of the detail. I don't remember a single score from a hockey or tennis match or even K-Day, although I'm pretty sure we won. I do not remember who was awarded what in any assembly or any prize giving. I do not remember what we sang in inter-house singing or who won. I can't remember the name of our inter-house play or if we even did a school play in our final year of school. I know I swam in a few galas, I don't know who we swam against, and I don't know if we won or lost. So what do I remember? I remember the first girl I ever met when I was a new girl who became my best friend. I remember every cubicle and every room I stepped in from grade 8 to matric, and if I walk you around Merriman, I can point out every single window to you. I remember my matrics, you sprigs, what you called now, you were called matrics, they were called our fag mistresses, inappropriate name, so now you matrics. And one is now my sister-in-law, and another I work with as a colleague. I remember the Newport's concert and how embarrassing it was and how proud I felt when I was embraced as a DSG girl. I remember every naughty thing we ever did, including the matric dinners. I remember laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. We were a lot more bored and cooped up than you girls. Just to give you some perspective, the matrics were allowed to town once a week. The rest of the school were allowed to town once on either side of half term. We had one sleep out a term, and that only happened, yes, so we had one sleep out a term, and that actually only came in, I think, in my grade 10 year, so in grade 8 and grade 9, we never even knew that. There was no free movement between DSG and St Andrews. We had to wait for a very special day on a Sunday called Brothers and Others. And on Brothers and Others, somebody would come visit you. And you really just hoped it was somebody you wanted to come and visit you. I hoped that Andy Sutherland would come visit me, but he was too busy visiting his girlfriend, who was my best friend, and your sister. But I did marry him 30 years later, so I had the last laugh. And then, so we spent every weekend making fudge, waxing each other's legs. We started that trend. We had no beauticians coming into DSG. We spent hours and hours melting and straining and torturing each other. And the other fun activity was piercing each other's ears. So my ears are courtesy of Bobby Jo Bassingthwaighte with a needle and 2 blocks of ice. And she did a great job. So we were very bored compared to you girls. And we, I know you laugh a lot too, but we used to get quite hysterical with laughter. I remember arriving back to school after a long holiday and nothing has changed here, and screaming with joy at the sight of my friends and hugs and kisses that followed. I mean, when DSG girls come back to school, you think someone's actually died. Like there's a crisis somewhere, that the noise levels, it's just too wonderful. I remember Kenton and St. Francis half terms and holidays. I remember chapel. I remember singing for all the saints at the end of each term before we departed for holidays. Do you still do that? I remember that. So these memories confirm to me that above all else, DSG is a deep and rich human experience. And on that front, your matric year and DSG journey has been as rewarding and fulfilling as every DSG girl before you and every DSG girl still to grace this beautiful campus. And as I speak these words, I feel my heart expanding with so much love and gratitude. What a privilege it is to be a DSG girl. That simple commonality connects us heart and soul. We are and will always be family. If you look around your table, I guarantee you that you are looking at your future bridesmaids, godmothers to your children, business partners, confidants, and lifelong friends. If you look across the hall, you might see the face of a fellow classmate you have not had the chance to connect with over the past 10 years. And I guarantee you that when you come back to your 10th, 20th, 30th reunion, you will have a drink together and will be mesmerized by the woman of worth that she is. And you will say, and I know this because I've said it numerous times, I wish I had spent more time with you at school. This school and every DSG girl to pass through it, the staff, your friends, and your parents have created a root system that will hold and nourish you all through your lives. Your wings have grown through the richness of your education and the opportunities you've been given to develop your character and talents, and you are all ready to fly far and high. And so, it makes me so happy to welcome you into the DSG Guild as a DSG Old Girl. One journey has ended and a new journey has begun. So of course, now that we are all old girls together, I will certainly be bumping into you in the Highlander for reunions or K-days. So I actually felt it was really important to let you know, and perhaps burst your bubbles, that DSG slang is not a new thing. It dates way back, and every generation of old girls has their own unique version. So here are a few words and phrases from the DSG girls of 1989 and thereabouts, so that we can actually understand each other when we're in the Highlander. So a dorp is a drink. A chop is not something that you would put on the bride together. A chop is someone who's behaving very badly. Don't be a chop. Okay? To duck is to leave. If I'm ducking, then I'm going somewhere else. I'm leaving. Swak or sif is, oh, that's not a good thing. That's not very nice. This is not a happy occasion. The berries is everything is going well. A jaw is a jaw. It's a party, I think you know that. Rop is cool. If someone says, geez, you are so rop, that means you're very cool. And stop tuning me is literally like stop tuning me. Stop actually giving me trouble here. Just stop tuning me. Okay? So, when we bump into each other in the Highlander, I might say to you, I'm ducking from the swak jaw because that chop keeps tuning me. I think the rat and parrot will be rop and I'll buy you a dorp. And then from what I've learned from you girls, I think what you might reply back to me in your unique slang, so I keep bashing that. You might say back to me, it's chilled. That oak is whack. I jammed with him a while back. I'll see you at the Rat and Parrot. Have you got a booth or a dairy, or must I swing past the spot? Okay, so we understand each other. We're going to have a lot of fun together. Okay, so on that note, I would love, you don't need to stand up, but I would just love the parents and the staff just to raise a glass and a few toasts taken from the lyrics of one of my favorite songs from Jason Mraz, who so aptly captures what is in all of our hearts as the adults, wishing you well on this next chapter of your lives. So, to the DSG girls of 2021, here's the hearts that you're going to break. Here's to the many lives that you are going to change. Here's the good times that we're going to have. Here's the infinite possible ways we love you. Here's the fact that we will be sad without you. And as you step out into the world, know that you're held and loved by this incredible DSG network, and we want you to have it all. Cheers.